Story 1. My girlfriend and I just moved into our new house. It truly felt like the home we'd always imagined for ourselves, perfect in every way. We have a rescue cat named Bella, making everything seem ideal when we first arrived. The only initial downside was the house to our right. It appeared abandoned. The owner had begun renovations but never finished. The houses are laid out so that on our right there's access to our back garden, and right beside that is the abandoned house's garden entrance. No fence divides them because the owner took it down to replace it but never did, leaving both gardens openly connected. Behind the abandoned house stands another property, separated by a fence. We could see several young men living there. Sometimes when coming home, we'd spot them cutting through the neighbor's garden to reach the street. At first, we didn't question it, maybe they knew the owner. Our first night there, we sat in the back garden admiring the space. We glanced up at the houses behind us and noticed a man staring blankly at us from a dark window. He wasn't hiding, his expression was vacant, making it deeply unsettling. We assumed he was just curious about new neighbors, but after 30 minutes of his stare, we went inside. The next few days were normal. I worked while my fiancée unpacked. One night, back in the garden, we heard the makeshift wooden fence move. 3 men stood there staring. "Are you okay?" I asked. The youngest looking one, about 29, held a large bag and offered a stolen detergent tablet. We declined, and I nervously joked about it. He smiled, said okay, and left. What unsettled us was how they entered our garden like it was theirs. It got worse. They kept entering our garden, acting intimidatingly. They'd lift the broken fence to access the abandoned house. I should mention my girlfriend and I are both 20, so we felt targeted as young women. Once while cleaning, I saw police officers search the abandoned garden. They left without explanation. Days later, police knocked and explained the men behind us were evicted for antisocial behavior. We felt relieved. But one day, during a bath, I heard a loud bang. I found my girlfriend, recording from our spare room window. A stranger pointed at our bedroom, then sprinted toward our house, tried the door handle, ran back, threw up the fence, and banged on the empty house's windows. We called the police, shared the video, and gave statements shaken. Why try our door later? At 2:16 a.m., whistling and tapping on our window terrified us. Our cameras recorded nothing. We fled to my mom's. Returning, we found our Ring doorbell removed and the SD card gone. Police warned us to lock everything, hinting this could mean worse plans. Whistling and banging continued for weeks. We filed many reports. It never tried the door again, so we hoped it was over. 3 weeks later, in bed, we checked our camera's live feed. A masked man stood in our garden, arms spread like a cross, staring up at our window. He spoke unheard words, then stood across the street staring for 30 minutes. Police dismissed it as not illegal. We couldn't sleep. Every noise scared us then. At 2:52 a.m., we got an alert. 2 masked men with flashlights and a crowbar were outside our windows. He'd stand across the street daily, pointing or shouting to scare us. Police did little. The harassment continues. Just today he stared up at us again. We caught it on video. Terrified. We'll update if anything changes. Story 2. Let me be clear, I'm not crazy. I know this sounds paranoid, but it happened. It started with faces that looked slightly off. 3 months ago, I ended things with my ex Caleb. Our 2-year relationship was overdue to end. Caleb wasn't violent, but he was controlling and possessive in a quiet, calculated way. He'd track my phone usage or quiz me to catch inconsistencies. After leaving, I changed my number, deleted social media, and moved. I thought I was free. Then came the barista. At a small coffee shop near my new place, a girl my age smiled at me. Her head tilted as she said, "Good morning, sunshine," Caleb's sarcastic nickname for me. I brushed it off. Days later, a rideshare driver asked if I'd figured out what I was running from. Another Caleb phrase. Then a grocery store woman bumped me and whispered, You don't get to just disappear. A stranger criticized my hair. A building worker hummed our argument song. Their eyes held the same knowing expression. I contacted Caleb's sister, demanding he stop. She replied, Caleb was in rehab, phoneless for 6 weeks, and shared a photo proving it. It couldn't be him directly, yet the encounters continued. One night, a hooded man on my stoop said, "Cold out tonight, huh, sunshine?" I ignored him. The next morning, my doormat was flipped. Underneath, scribbled in pen, "You can change your face too if you want, but I'll still recognize you." I vomited and booked a hotel. At 2 a.m., 3 slow knocks came. A blank-faced woman stared through the peephole. The front desk said no one should have been there. My floor was vacant. Then I understood. Strangers were being fed Caleb's phrases. I recalled him mentioning a forum for tactics. He'd hired people to echo his words, ensuring I'd always watch for him. It was psychological graffiti. I moved again, dyed my hair, and vanished. It worked until last week. A woman passing me said, still hiding behind books, "Sunshine, this won't stop." Maybe he paid a service or made it a game. Who can scare Sunshine best? I can't trust any face. The paranoia is eroding my mind. Story 3. My family never travels, so when my aunt proposed a trip to a Michigan Great Lake, everyone agreed. My cousin booked a surprisingly affordable Airbnb fitting all 18 of us. The house sat right on the beach with ocean-like views. Most took rooms in the main house, but 4 of us, my cousins and I, were placed in a 2-story garage behind it. The first day was bliss. Hot tub, beach, scenery. At night, we entered the garage. It was neglected, moldy carpets, stained sheets, a weak door latch. My cousins refused to sleep on the beds until we washed the sheets. The small machines meant late-night laundry runs. As we waited upstairs, I felt sudden dread, a rare intuition I've learned to trust. I warned my cousins, reminding them of our past break-in in Detroit. Around midnight, I started laundry cycles alone. By 2:37 a.m., sheets were clean, beds made. Nikki insisted we leave a light on. They slept. I stayed up, a light sleeper since. Detroit, at 3 a.m., a body-like crash hit the garage door. Too heavy for wind, it happened twice more, shaking the building. My cousins woke. We texted my aunt, who alerted my uncle. He ran outside at 4:11 a.m. while we hid upstairs. Knocking followed. It was my uncle, dad, and cousins. "Grab your things," he said. "Someone's on the property." We rushed to the main house. My aunt explained. She'd followed my uncle outside. He'd shouted at a man staring behind the garage. The house door slammed shut behind her, less making her fear an intruder. After a search, no one was found. My uncle described the man. He didn't run, just stared, then vanished without footprints or sound. My brothers found twisted, jester cards in both buildings, symbols of mockery, left during the devil's hour. That night, we crammed into the main house. My mum woke at 4 a.m. to footsteps and the basement door rattling. No one was there. We left a day early. On the drive back, we theorized, was it a hostile neighbor or something paranormal? My mum realized the banging started right after my last laundry trip. Someone may have thought I was alone. The host promised to check the garage camera, but never replied. A cold-eyed neighbor we'd seen made us wonder, did locals resent tourists? Our first family trip was unforgettable, but not in the way we'd hoped.